Glenn Kirshner here. Please enjoy this video on the Political Voices Network.
You also mentioned Alan Weisselberg, sentenced for perjury, returns to Rikers. DA Bragg has neutralized Weisselberg as a possible defense witness at Trump's upcoming criminal trial. That's smart. I didn't even think of that. That
was a great strategic move because, listen, the prosecutors can never put Weisselberg on the stand because he has lied to try to cover up Donald Trump's crimes. He's never been willing to flip on Donald Trump. Fine. Next best thing, to prevent him from being called as a defense witness, taking the stand and saying, wait a minute, Michael Cohen said he talked to me about setting up these hush money payments. He did not. I didn't talk to him, and Donald didn't do anything wrong. Well, you know what? You want to now call him as a defense witness? He's going to come from Rikers after having pleaded guilty to committing perjury to try to protect Donald Trump, and he's going to be in a faded black and white striped jumpsuit. How much credibility will he have in front of the jury?
It's like Michael Avenatti calling in from prison into Ari Melber's show. That would be like that ridiculous.
Apparently the ratings were huge on that.
Yeah,
they were massive.
Okay.
I didn't watch.
Glenn, I'm glad you're sitting down. I know you're going to be shocked to find there's something hinky with this bond, as it turns out. This just stinks to high heaven. That's the opinion of one former insurance expert when shown documentation showing the company backing Trump's $175 million appeal bond has backed their own bet with funds supposedly held in the secretive tax haven of the Cayman Islands. Oh, my God. And we're in the middle of a John Grisham movie, and Tom Cruise is going to have to go down there. Questions raised about Knight Specialty Insurance Group they say the murkier things get, they're setting off red flags from industry and financial experts. Well, of course, because it's Donald Trump.
Yeah, and I still have to wonder if Don Hankey has a partner named Panky, because we got financial hanky-panky going on here, right? All right, that was an easy one.
That was,
but here's the question I now ask. Of course, there is financial shenanigans going on, and this bond will probably not be accepted. And with a little luck, that means Tish James can move forward to seizing Donald Trump's properties. But I wonder if this makes the New York Appeals Court feel good about the fraud forgiveness program that they bestowed on Donald Trump, reducing the amount he had to post from $464 million to $175 million. And even that looks like it now involves some financial shenanigans. That highlights the problem of treating Donald Trump differently and better than they would treat any other litigant. What did he do? He immediately abused that gift that was bestowed upon him by the New York Court of Appeals.
Yeah. So this headline this morning, real quick before we go, Trump's overmatched legal team in Mar-a-Lago documents case suffers another blow, according to an expert. Does it matter? And when do you go, what is it, a writ of Matt Damon? When do we go for the writ of Matt Damon? Mandamus, something, whatever.
Yeah, not to be confused with the Ben Affleck appeal. But
right. I did that joke last time. We share a brain. Go ahead.
But here's the thing, Steph. So this lawyer, Evan Corcoran, is somebody that I worked with. I worked murder cases with back in the days, a former federal prosecutor. He has now formally removed himself from being part of the Trump defense team. I don't know why he didn't do it long ago, because remember, he was the one that Jack Smith forced into the grand jury after the judge said there was some crime fraud going on, so he can't invoke the attorney-client privilege.
Okay.
And Evan Corcoran testified against Donald Trump in the grand jury.
Yeah.
So, of course, he can no longer be on the defense team because he will probably be a marquee witness for the prosecution against Donald Trump in the D.C. case. So,
it seems like so
this
far
was a long time coming.
Yeah, Judge Cannon has gone right up to the line of not, warranting a circuit court intervention, right? But so what do you do if you're Jack Smith? What's your timing?
File a motion to recuse.
Okay.
So there's an incremental step there. You file what's called a motion in limine, trying to force her to rule on whether she's going to give the lawless instruction saying the Presidential Records Act lets Donald Trump do what he did, because it doesn't, has nothing to do with the espionage charges. And once she denies that motion, you go up to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, and you also file a motion to have her removed, because that issue has to be litigated and resolved by an appellate court, or we will never have confidence in the outcome of the trial.
Yeah, that was a new one. Something lemonade, something. Okay, and then Joyce Vance used what is it?
Voir dire,
which I remember now where I heard that, Glenn. It was Joe Pesci. Hang on.
Now, if Mr. Trotter wishes to voir dire a witness as to the extent of her expertise in this area...
That was a better pronunciation than I did the first time I tried it. Okay. Can we just, since we've been talking about this the first half hour, we're out here in the OJ epicenter of Los Angeles. We were just talking about a lot of people have made the point, drawing a straight line to that's when media coverage got so sensational and so many issues, I feel like, got us to where we are today with Trump and this circus-like trial coverage. We were specifically talking about Alan Dershowitz saying, I would have represented Nicole and if they'd have called first. I mean, I hate to say this, people think of lawyers, when it's something bad, because you just think, I see. So you had to represent the double murderer, right?
Yeah. Listen, everybody's entitled to a defense, a zealous defense. It's a cherished Sixth Amendment right that we all enjoy. My thing, Steph, was I kind of knew where I fit in the system. I was more of a law enforcement guy, although I really honor and respect the work that defense attorneys do. Mm-hmm. But it's also okay, I believe, for attorneys to make decisions based on their own beliefs, their own morals. And so every person who's accused of murder, of course, is entitled to effective representation. But, when it comes to a guy like Donald Trump, who's also entitled to effective representation, I have a hard time understanding how people are willing to plug in to somebody who has not just committed horrific crimes against the American people, but somebody who's trying to tear down our very democracy and who wants to become his words, day one dictator. That's where I think I would expect more defense attorneys to draw the line and say, listen, even for me, that's a bridge too far. Because I don't want to be engaged in the machinery of destroying democracy.
Yeah.
Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirshner wherever you generally get your podcasts.
You are invited to Stephanie Miller's Sexy Liberal Save the World Tour. It's the political comedy event of the year, and it's coming to a city near you. Join Stephanie Miller, the queen of progressive talk radio, along with Hal Sparks, John Fugelsang, and the comedy duo Frangela, mocking all the fascists and trolls for a tour that is hilarious, inspiring, and deeply offensive to just the right people. It's an all-new tour with all-new guests and a side-splitting evening of stand-up. Stephanie Miller's Sexy Liberal Save the World Tour.